Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your favorite recovery life coach, Miss Jewel, here again, serving my community. What's up, fam? I'll read this. Oh, there it is. So tonight is all about recovery. We'll read the 12 steps. The reading from Just for Today, focusing on our recovery. It's a life journey, whatever we have to recover from. Waking up being black, being in America and white supremacist society. That's recovery within itself. It doesn't have to be about drugs. It could be about anything. Relationships, friendships, situations. Nobody's here to condemn, but just unite. Have a safe space. It's been a long week. The week has went by so fast. I'll get right into it. You'll hear 3 chimes, and let's go. There we go. Once again, I'm your humble servant, happy to be here and have a platform where we can face recovery, have a discussion. You're welcome to join. Please get in touch. Drink your water. Drink your water. Water is life. I hope you're well, in sound mind and body. So the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous. 1, we admitted that we are powerless over our addiction, that our lives have become unmanageable. Excuse me. We came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. We made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood God. We made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we were entirely ready to have God remove all of these conditioning of character removed. 7, we humbly asked God to remove all our shortcomings. 8, we made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, we made direct amends to such people whenever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, we continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood God, praying for knowledge of God's will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to addicts and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Just for today. The 4th step, fearing our feelings, September 25th, taken from the basic text, page 30. We may fear that being in touch with our feelings will trigger an overwhelming chain reaction of pain and panic. I've been there. A common complaint about the 4th step is that it makes us painfully conscious of our conditioning of character. We may be tempted to falter in our program of recovery. Through surrender and acceptance, we can find the resources we need to keep working the steps. It is not the awareness of our conditioning that causes the most agony. It is the conditioning themselves. When we were using, all we felt was the drugs. When we could ignore the suffering our defects were causing us. Now that the drugs are gone, we feel the pain. Refusing to acknowledge the source of anguish doesn't make it go away. Denial protects the pain and makes it stronger. The 12 steps help us to deal with the misery caused by our conditioning by dealing directly with the conditioning themselves. If we hurt from the pain of our conditioning, we can remain ourselves. We can remind ourselves of the nightmare of addiction, a nightmare from which we now awakened. We can recall the hope for release the second step gave us. We can again turn our will and our lives over through the third step to the care of the God of our understanding. Our higher power comes for us by giving us the help we need to work the rest of the 12 steps. We don't have to fear our feelings. Just for today, we can continue in our recovery. Just for today, I won't be afraid of my feelings. With the help of my higher power, I will continue in my recovery. You know, when I did my moral inventory, and I had to read it to the group, I got to a part that was really painful, and I wound up walking away, matter of fact, running out of the group, and it was all women, in a hallway by exit door that didn't open, and I balled up in a fetal position and basically was crying my eyes out. It was the first time in many years that I had acknowledged or even spoke of what had happened as a child. It was very painful, but the support of the group allowed me to continue working in recovery, sharing my steps and having a profound awakening and totally accepting of it where I didn't hide behind the shame. So, you know, addicts use drugs because of the pain of life that we're not able to deal with it. And first, you know, I had a discussion today in a group that, you know, nobody wakes up and says, you know, I'm going to be a drug addict. You know, I'm going to rob and steal to get drugs. It never happens that way. Not one story is started that way. You know, it may started at school with a peer group. It started in a social setting. You know, an experience. You know, I'm going to try it, you know, just one time. And then one thing leads to another until it becomes full-blown addiction. But what I want to go back to is that the pain that we hide when we're using and we're not able to face the pain, like trauma. And then how even if you're in a recreational setting and there's drugs involved like that, people are hiding from their pain. And it's a usury. You know, this person is using and this person is offering to get the other one hooked. It's just a horrible chain reaction. And I've seen it all. And I am so grateful to have overcome those days, you know, many years ago. But it's still the same. That's why I like working with young children and young adults, because they need activities to keep their mind active. If there is trauma, you know, let's deal with it as soon as possible, preferably while they're young, and give them things to do to allow their minds to express it out, to allow the spirit to express the negativity and come back to a sense of self, because you lose your identity with trauma. So when I say a sense of self, you know, I really do mean that. Come back to reality, because you can get lost in pain. I can definitely identify and know exactly what it looks like and what it feels like, and that's why I'm so passionate about recovery, especially in my children, all children, the children of the world. We're in pain, let's heal together. My favorite thing to do is send metta. And to conclude, it'll be the serenity prayer. So, disclaimer, if you can, take 10, 15 minutes out in some silence, being still, light a candle, close your eyes, let things go, and say, I will be happy. I will be healthy. I will be free of danger. I will be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. I will be peaceful, kind, wise, and skillful. I will be at ease. I will make that decree upon your own life. Take that power back. That you will be happy. You'll be healthy. It's so important. And if we don't take our life in our own hands, somebody else will. Open up with me in a deep breath. Cleansing breath. A moment of silence for those who still suffer. And I will end with the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. What a powerful prayer. Thank you.